Joel A. Rogers and Dr. Setbakafo have both written books documenting that at least 5 former presidents of the United States had black people among their ancestors. If one considers the fact that European men far outnumbered European women during the founding of this country, and that the rape and impregnation of an African female slave was not considered a crime, it is even more surprising that these two authors cannot document black ancestors among an ever larger number of former presidents. The presidents they name include Thomas Jefferson, Andrew Jackson, Abraham Lincoln, Warren Hardin, and Calvin Coolidge. The best case for black ancestry is against Warren G. Hardin, our 29th president from 1921 until 1923. Hardin himself never denied his ancestry. When Republican leaders called on Hardin to deny the Negro history, he said, "How should I know whether or not one of my ancestors might have jumped the fence?" William Chancellor, a white professor of economics and politics at Worcester College in Ohio, wrote a book on the Hardin family genealogy and identified black ancestors among both parents of President Hardin. Justice Department agents allegedly bought and destroyed all copies of this book. Chancellor also said that Hardin's only academic credentials included education at Iberia College, which was founded in order to educate fugitive slaves. Andrew Jackson was our 7th president from 1829 to 1837. The Virginia Magazine of History, Volume 29, says that Jackson was the son of a white woman from Ireland who had intermarried with a Negro. The magazine also said that his eldest brother had been sold as a slave in Carolina. Joel Rogers says that Andrew Jackson Sr. died long before President Andrew Jackson Jr. was born. He says the president's mother then went to live on the Crawford farm, where there were Negro slaves, and that one of these men was Andrew Jr.'s father. Another account of the brothers sold into slavery story can be found in David Cole's book entitled Ordeal of the Presidency, 1960. Thomas Jefferson was our 3rd president from 1801 to 1809. The chief attack on Jefferson was in a book written by Thomas Hazard in 1867 called The Johnny Cake Papers. Hazard interviewed Paris Garnier, who said he was present during the 1796 presidential campaign. When one speaker states that Thomas Jefferson was a mean-spirited son of a half-breed Indian squaw and a Virginia mulatto father. In his book entitled The Slave Children of Thomas Jefferson, Samuel Sloan wrote that Jefferson destroyed all of the papers, portraits, and personal effects of his mother, Jane Randolph Jefferson, when she died on March 31st, 1776. He even wrote letters to every person who had ever received a letter from his mother, asking them to return that letter. Sloan says, "There is something strange and even psychopathic about the lengths to which Thomas Jefferson went to destroy all remembrances of his mother, while saving over 18,000 copies of his own letters and other documents for posterity." One must ask, what is it he was trying to hide? Abraham Lincoln was our 16th president from 1861 to 1865. J.A. Rogers quotes Lincoln's mother, Nancy Hanks, as saying that Abraham Lincoln was the illegitimate son of an African man. William Herndon, Lincoln's law partner, said that Lincoln had very dark skin and coarse hair, and that his mother was from an Ethiopian tribe. In Herndon's book entitled The Hidden Lincoln, he says that Thomas Lincoln could not have been Abraham Lincoln's father because he was sterile from childhood mumps and was later castrated. Lincoln's presidential opponents made cartoon drawings depicting him as a Negro and nicknamed him Abraham Africanus I. Calvin Coolidge was our 30th president, and he succeeded Warren Hardin. He proudly admitted that his mother was dark because of mixed Indian ancestry. However, Dr. Bakafu says that by 1800, the New England Indian was hardly any longer pure Indian because they had mixed so often with blacks. Calvin Coolidge's mother's maiden name was Moore. In Europe, the name Moore was given to all black people, just as the name Negro is used in America. All of the presidents mentioned were able to pass for white and never acknowledged their black ancestry. Millions of other children who were descendants of former slaves have also been able to pass for white. American society has so much interracial mixing that books such as The Bell Curve, discussing IQ evaluations based solely on race, are totally unrealistic.